What's up, guys? Welcome to the Tonight Show with Andre. I'm Andre, and I got a special guest over here, Peasant.
Hi. Thank you.
Peasant, you ready for this shit show?
I'm ready for the fucking clown show. Let's bring on the clowns. Let's send in the clowns.
Oh, Lordy, have mercy.
I'm gonna get like hyped up with energy every time they say some stupid shit.
Me too.
Oh my god. I'm so happy they're like there's a protest going on there right now. Like, I really hope they shut the shit down or something.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm so ready for this clown show. Oh my god, this fucking libs.
Me too, man.
Gosh.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh my god, she's such a bitch.
I hate this motherfucker.
Is broadcasting it, but we will simulcast it right here in its entirety. It's taking place at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia.
And like June's debate, there will be no audience tonight. The candidates' microphones will be muted while the other one is talking. Each candidate will get 2 minutes for answers. There will be closing statements, but no opening statements. So we expect them to probably mix it up rather early in this as they stake out their positions and we get a sense of where all this is going.
And the mics are muted when the other is talking. So let's take you to Philadelphia now and the first presidential debate of 2024.
Good evening. I'm David Muir, and thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate. We want to welcome viewers watching on ABC and around the world tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump are just moments away from taking the stage in this unprecedented race for president.
And I'm Lindsay Davis. Tonight's meeting could be the most consequential event of their campaigns, with Election Day now less than 2 months away. For Vice President Kamala Harris, this is her first debate since President Biden withdrew from the race on July 21st. Of course, that decision followed his debate against President Donald Trump in June. Since then, this race has taken on an entirely new dynamic.
And that brings us to the rules of tonight's debate. 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. No topics or questions have been shared with the campaigns. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions, and this is the clock. That's what they'll be seeing. 2 minutes for rebuttals and 1 minute for follow-ups, clarifications, or responses. Their microphones will only be turned on when it's their turn to speak. No pre-written notes allowed. There is no audience here tonight in this hall at the National Constitution Center. This is an intimate setting for 2 candidates who have never met.
President Trump won the coin toss. He chose to deliver the final closing statement of the evening. Vice President Harris selected the podium to the right.
So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Wait.
What?
That's so fucking awkward.
Fake. 2 gentlemen.
Hey, they're like, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. What the fuck?
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
So let's get started. I want to begin tonight with the issue that voters repeatedly say is their number one issue, and that is the economy and the cost of living in this country. Vice President Harris, you and President Trump were elected 4 years ago, and your opponent on the stage here tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion. One of them is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again, and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
Take a shot. She said Project
I believe
2025.
very strongly that the
Shot.
2025. She said it. Take a shot.
Yep. Shot. Project 2025. I'm so scared. Oh Lord. Oh, we so doomed. We so doomed. Oh God. Help me, Lord.
Both sides wanted Project 2025. All right.
Yeah. Right.
The American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad. but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's
You ain't got no policies on your
all
website.
about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
You both want to defend Israel.
That to say. Yeah. I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a great plan. It's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. Just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Mr. President, I do want to drill down on something you both brought up. The Vice President brought up your tariffs. You responded, and let's drill down on this, because your plan is what she calls is essentially a national sales tax. Your proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed out here, on foreign imports across the board. You recently said that you might double your plan, imposing tariffs up to 20% on goods coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer. Vice President Harris has argued it'll mean higher prices on gas, food, clothing, medication, arguing it costs the typical family nearly $4,000 a year. Do you believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to have and who's going to have higher prices is China and all of the countries that have been ripping us off for years. I was the only president ever. China was paying us hundreds of billions of dollars, and so were other countries. And, you know, if she doesn't like them, they should have gone out and they should have immediately cut the tariffs. But those tariffs are there 3.5 years now under their administration. We are going to take in billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else. The people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done. They've destroyed the economy. And all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% that the Trump economy was great, that their economy was terrible.
Vice President Harris, I do want to ask for your response, and you heard what the president said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is, under Donald Trump's presidency, he ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out when a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins the competition for the 21st century, which means focusing on the details of what that requires, focusing on relationships with our allies, focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we win the race on AI, on quantum computing, focusing on what we need to do to support America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did, let's talk about this, with COVID, is he actually thanked President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi, exclamation point, when we know that she was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about the origins of COVID.
President Trump, I'll let you respond.
First of all, they bought their chips from Taiwan. We hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father.
No.
I fucking wish.
No, I wish, Mother Orange, motherfucker.
There's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country monthly, where it's, I believe, 21 million people, not the 15 that people say, and I think it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State pouring in. And just look at what they're doing to our country. They're criminals. Many of these people coming in are criminals. And that's bad for our economy, too. You know, you mentioned before, we'll talk about immigration later. Well, bad immigration is the worst thing that can happen to our economy. They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
President Trump, thank you. Lindsay?
I want to turn to the issue of abortion. President Trump, you've often touted that you were able to kill Roe v. Wade. Last year, you said that you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you said that your administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you surprised many with regard to your 6-week abortion ban because you initially had said that it was too short. And you said, quote, I'm going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. But then the very next day, you reversed course and said you would vote to support the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of abortion because you've changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
Well, the reason I'm doing that vote is because the plan is, as you know, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor.
Debunked. I'm a
of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, is doing an excellent job.
I hate these people, man.
But the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years. They've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions. Very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Let's understand how we got here. Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And now in over 20 states, there are Trump abortion bans, which make it criminal for a doctor or nurse to provide health care. In one state, it provides prison for life. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest, which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime of violation to their body does not have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral. And one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry
a 52 years to codify it.
Miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry.
Yeah, 50 years to codify it. Your party, you dumbass motherfucker.
A pregnancy to term? They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
Well, there she goes again.
From the river to the sea.
I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban, because we've gotten what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they've wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter, because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if it came to your desk?
Well, I won't have to, because, again, 2 things. Number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50, essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just talk. You know what it reminds me of? When they said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended up being a total catastrophe. The student loans, and then I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach. But look, her boss went out and said, we'll do it again. We'll do it a different way. And he went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all these students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea, and how unfair that would have been. Part of the reason they lost to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free, but they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. in all fairness. J.D., and I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look, we don't have to discuss it because she'd never be able to get it, just like she couldn't get student loans. They couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it doesn't matter what she says about going to Congress. Well, wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I want to give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And understand what has been happening under Donald Trump's abortion bans. Couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our country? Working people, working women who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body. And that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Vice President Harris,
excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact, when they got a very negative decision on IVF from the Alabama courts, I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature 2 days later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other thing, you should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question. Would you veto?
You could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th
That's
month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the governor, former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
President Trump, thank you.
We're going to turn now to immigration and border security. We know it's an issue that's important to Republicans, Democrats, voters across the board in this country. Vice President Harris, you were tasked by President Biden with getting to the root causes of migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime, trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so, that would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border?
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora.
They're not Louisiana.
A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as the rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
television.
television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. You know, this is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election, I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a four-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit. His former Secretary of Defense has said the nation, the Republic, would never survive another Trump term. And when we listen to this kind of rhetoric, when the issues that affect the American people are not being addressed, I think the choice is clear in this election.
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond.
Thank you, because when I hear that, see, I'm a different kind of a person. I fired most of those people. Not so graciously. They did bad things or a bad job, I fired them. They never fired one person. They didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan and the Taliban and the 13 people whose were just killed, viciously and violently killed. And I got to know the parents and the family. They didn't fire. They should have fired all those generals, all those top people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody has ever seen. So when somebody does a bad job, I fire him. And you take a guy like Esper. He was no good. I fired him. So he writes a book. Another one writes a book. Because with me, they can write books. With nobody else can they? But they have done such a poor job, and they never fire anybody. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. They didn't fire any of their economists. They have the same people. That's a good way not to have books written about you. But just to finish, I got more votes than any Republican in history by far. In fact, I got more votes than any president, sitting president in history by far.
Who cares?
Let me continue on immigration. It was what you wanted to talk about earlier, so let's get back to your deportation proposal that the vice president has reacted to as well. President Trump, you call this the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. You say you would use the National Guard. You say if things get out of control, you'd have no problem using the U.S. military.
Police, yes.
You also said you would use local police. How would you deport 11 million undocumented immigrants? I know you believe that number is much higher. Take us through this. What does this look like? Will authorities be going door to door in this country?
Yeah, it is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists.
Terrorists.
They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers to come into our country, and they're now in the United States and told by their countries like Venezuela, don't ever come back or we're going to kill you. Do you know that crime in Venezuela and crime in countries all over the world is way down? You know why? Because they've taken their criminals off the street and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it. Because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in. And all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof, despite their fraudulent statements that they made. Crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody
when you poor, you desperate.
thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. And let's be clear where each person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law and respect for law enforcement. The former vice president called for defunding federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents, get this, on the day after he was arraigned on 34 felony counts. So let's talk about what is important in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page on this same old tired rhetoric and address the needs of the American people, address what we need to do about the housing shortage, which I have a plan for, address what we must do to support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. But frankly, the American people are exhausted with this same old tired playbook.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
Excuse me. Every one of those cases was started by them against their political opponent, and I'm winning most of them, and I will win the rest on appeal. Came down just recently from the Supreme Court. I'm winning most of them. But those are cases, it's called weaponization. Never happened in this country. They weaponized the Justice Department. Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ, from Atlanta and Fani Willis to the Attorney General of New York and the DA in New York. Every one of those cases. And then they say, oh, he's a criminal. They're the ones that made them go after me. By the way, Joe Biden was found essentially guilty on the documents case. Now, what happened in my documents case? They said, oh, that's the toughest of them all. A complete and total victory. 2 months ago, it was thrown out. It's weaponization, and they used it, and it's never happened in this country. They used it to try and win an election. They're fake cases.
President Trump, thank you. A really quick response here, Vice President Harris, on this notion of weaponization of the Justice Department.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again. Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president.
She didn't even stop her.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation. Went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values have not changed. So then why have so many of your policy positions changed?
So my values have not changed, and I'm going to discuss at least every point that you've made. But in particular, let's talk about fracking, because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking. My position is that we have got to invest in diverse sources of energy so we reduce our reliance on foreign oil. We have had the largest increase in domestic oil production in history because of an approach that recognizes that we cannot over-rely on foreign oil. As it relates to my values, let me tell you, I grew up a middle-class kid raised by a hardworking mother who worked and saved and was able to buy our first home when I was a teenager. The values I bring to the importance of home ownership, knowing not everybody got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, is a value that I bring to my work to say we are going to work with the private sector and home builders to increase 3 million homes, increase by 3 million homes by the end of my first term. My work that is related to having a friend when I was in high school who was sexually assaulted by her stepfather. And my focus then on protecting women and children from violent crime is based on a value that is deeply grounded in the importance of standing up for those who are most vulnerable. My work that is about protecting Social Security and Medicare is based on long-standing work that I have done, protecting seniors from scams. My values have not changed. And what is important is that there is a president who actually brings values and a perspective that is about lifting people up and not beating people down and name-calling. The true measure of the leader is the leader who actually understands the strength is not in beating people down, it's in lifting people up. I intend to be that president.
President Trump, your response?
First of all, I wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens, and a great father, and I learned a lot from him. But I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many billions of dollars, many, many billions. And when people see it, they are even surprised. So we don't have to talk about that. Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police, she's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
I'm talking now.
She went out. She went out
son.
in Minnesota
slam
and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down Minneapolis, she went out and raised money to get them out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this. She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking in Pennsylvania. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one. Just to finish one thing, so important in my opinion. So I got the oil business going like nobody has ever done before. When they took over, they got rid of it, started getting rid of it, and the prices were going up the roof. They immediately let these guys go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher, because you're talking about 3.5 years ago. Higher. They got it up to where I was because they had no choice, because the prices of energy were quadrupling and doubling. You saw what happened to gasoline. So they said, let's go back to Trump. But if she won the election, the day after that election, they'll go back to destroying our country, and oil will be dead, fossil fuel will be dead, we'll go back to windmills, and we'll go back to solar, where they need a whole desert to get some energy to come out of it. You ever see a solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar, but they take 400, 500 acres of desert soil.
Trump, we have a
These
lot
are
of
not good
issues
things
that we
for the
have to get
environment,
to.
as she
We're out of time.
understands.
Thank you.
Lindsay, thank you. We have an election in just 56 days. And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our democracy, and the role of the president in a moment of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Aides in the West Wing say you watched it unfold on television off the Oval Office. You did send out tweets, but it was more than 2 hours before you sent out that video message telling your supporters to go home. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
Fuck that shit.
You just said a thing that isn't covered peacefully and patriotically. I said during my speech, not later on. Peacefully and patriotically. And nobody on the other side was killed. Ashley Babbitt was shot by an out-of-control police officer that should have never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. But we didn't do this group of people that have been treated so badly. I ask, what about all the people that are pouring into our country and killing people that she allowed to pour in? She was the border czar. Remember that. She was the border czar. She doesn't want to be called the border czar because she's embarrassed by the border. In fact, she said at the beginning, well, I'm surprised you're not talking about the border yet. That's because she knows what a bad job they've done. What about those people? When are they going to be prosecuted? When are these people from countries all over the world, not just South America? They're coming in from all over the world, David, all over the world, and crime rates are down all over the world because of it.
But let me just
when are those, David? When are those people going to be prosecuted? When are the people that burned down Minneapolis going to be prosecuted? Or in Seattle? They went into Seattle. They took over a big percentage of the city of Seattle. When are those people going to be prosecuted?
No way, Jose.
But let me just ask you.
You might ask her that question.
You were the president. You were watching it unfold on television. It's a very simple question as we move forward toward another election. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day? Yes or no?
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C., and the mayor put it back in writing, as you know. I said, you know, this is going to be a very big rally or whatever you want to call it. And again, it wasn't done by me. It was done by others. I said, I'd like to give you 10,000 National Guard or soldiers They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me. It was just 2 weeks ago. Her daughter has a tape of her saying she is fully responsible for what happened. They want to get rid of that tape. It would have never happened if Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington did their jobs. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi, but I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also an acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason. But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia,
Israel's actions.
the president said, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was,
I don't care about
I say
January
we don't
6th. I
have
wanna
to go
fucking
back.
eat. I want a livable wage. Who gives a fuck about January 6th? I could care less.
Fuck January 6th.
Let's not go back. We're not going back. It's time to turn the page.
3 years ago.
And if that was a bridge too far for you, well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand for our democracy, to stand for rule of law, and to end the chaos, and to end the approach that is about attacking the foundations of our democracy because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people, they covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect. It was debunked in almost every newspaper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. I ask you this, you talk about the Capitol. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the southern border? How come she's not doing anything? And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do it. I would say we would both leave this debate right now. I'd like to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time.
Go down to
because she's been so bad. It's so ridiculous. Go down to Washington, D.C. and let her sign a bill to close up the border because they have the right to do it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed. You'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll say, come on down to the office. Let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all he has to do is say it to the border patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed.
Open all of them.
Those people are killing many people, unlike J6.
We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus on this next issue to both of you because it really brings us this into focus, truth in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won, many times saying you won in a landslide. In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I said that sarcastically. You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, There's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it. And they should have sent it back to the legislatures for approval. I got almost 75 million votes, the most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what I got in 2016, you can't be beaten. The election, people should never be thinking about an election as fraudulent. We need two things. We need walls. We need, and we have to have it. We have to have borders. And we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants come and even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them
no judge looked at it
and said
they said we didn't have standing. That's the other thing. They said we didn't have standing, a technicality. Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The president of the United States doesn't have standing. That's how we lost. If you look at the facts, and I'd love to have you do a special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania, and I'll show you. We have so many facts and statistics. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because we have to solve the problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the problem that we have right now is we have a nation in decline, and they have put it into decline. We have a nation that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you. President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker, so he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that's come up in the last couple of days. This was a post from President Trump about this upcoming election just weeks away. He said, when I win, those people who cheated, and then he lists donors, voters, election officials, he says will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States. And world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom work with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did, in fact, lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about facts. That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president. But when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes, and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is
I think
up.
we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get to.
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war and the hostages
No,
restored
it's
and
a
held
genocide.
Americans among
It's a
them.
genocide.
Vice President Harris, in
It's a
December,
genocide.
you said, quote,
Right.
Israel has a right to defend itself,
No,
but you added,
fuck
quote,
Israel.
it matters how.
Fuck
Saying
Israel.
international
Fuck
humanitarian
Israel.
law must be
From the river
respected.
to the
Israel
sea,
must do more to
Palestine
protect
will be
innocent
free.
civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain.
Murder.
Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the making. President Biden has
Because he
not been
wants
able
to
to
kill
break through the
children.
stalemate.
They want to
How
kill
would you do it?
Well, let's understand how we got here. On October 7, Hamas,
you
a
said the
terrorist
bomb.
organization,
It started before October 7th.
It started
slaughtered
before October
1,200
7th.
Israelis.
76 years.
Many of them
Fuck
young people
Israel.
who were simply attending a concert.
No,
Women
no,
were
oh my
horribly
God.
No, 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 no.
What about the
And so,
Palestinian
absolutely,
babies?
I said then, I say now,
Wait.
Israel has a right
Wow.
to defend itself.
No,
We
no.
would.
No, no,
You
no.
send the
No.
bombs. Fuck Israel.
Fuck Israel, man. I'm sick of
And
this.
how
Hold
it
on.
does so
Uh-uh.
matters.
I can't-
Because it is
Free
also true,
Palestine.
far too many
Free Palestine.
innocent Palestinians have been killed.
Murdered.
Children,
They've been
mothers.
murdered. And you,
Murder.
What we know is that
They're bombs.
this war must end.
It's
It
a
must
genocide.
end immediately.
Genocide.
And the way it will
Not no
end is
fucking
we
war.
need a ceasefire
It's a
deal and we
genocide.
need the hostages
Genocide.
out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on
Israel killed their own hostages.
that. Work around the clock, also understanding
I
that we
don't know.
must
I don't know
chart
what to
a course for a two-state solution. And
No.
in
One
that
state.
solution,
Yeah,
there must be
Palestine needs to have their
security
land
for the Israeli people
state.
and Israel, and in equal measure for the Palestinians. But the one thing I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself, in particular as it relates to Iran and any
Yep.
threat that Iran and its proxies pose to Israel. But we must have a two-state
Israel's
solution
bitch. Both
where
of
we
you
can
guys are
rebuild
Israel's
Gaza,
bitch.
where the Palestinians
Israel bitch.
have security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightly deserve.
President Trump, how would you negotiate
Yeah.
with Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians in
I'm
Gaza?
pro
If I were
Hamas.
president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never, ever, I know Putin very well, he would have
Viva
never, there was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years, have gone into Ukraine and killed millions of people when you add it up. Far worse than people understand what's going on over there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with
You both love
Netanyahu when he went to
Israel.
Congress to make a very
Israel's
important speech.
both
She
of
refused to be
you.
there because she was at a sorority
loves Israel
party
too, man.
of hers. She wanted to go to the
both
sorority
love
party.
Israel.
She hates Israel.
You both Israel,
If she's
bitch.
president,
both
I
love
believe
Israel.
that Israel will
both
not
love-
exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at
Palestine's not
predictions,
gonna
and I hope I'm
exist
wrong
until
about
you
that
two
one.
quarters. What do you wanna
She
do?
hates
Yeah.
Israel. At the
Y'all
same
both
time,
support
in her
wiping
own
out the
way,
entire Palestinian
she hates
population.
the Arab
That's your
population.
plan.
Because
Both
the
parties will do
whole
that.
place
Both
is going to
parties
get blown
complicit.
up. Arabs,
Complicit to
Jewish people, Israel.
Genocide.
Israel will be gone. It would have never happened.
Palestine will be gone
Iran was
because you
broke
used to.
under Donald Trump.
Yeah, you two motherfuckers.
Now Iran has $300
Your
billion
fault.
because they took off all the sanctions that I had.
Free
Iran had no
Palestine.
money for Hamas or Hezbollah or any of the 28 different
free Palestine.
spheres of
Free,
terror.
free
And they are
Palestine.
spheres of terror,
Free
horrible terror.
Palestine.
They had no money.
Free,
It was a
free,
big
free
story, and you
Palestine.
know it. You covered it very
free
well, actually.
Palestine.
They had no
Free, free,
money
free
for terror.
Palestine.
They were broke. Now they're a
From the
rich
river to
nation,
the
and
sea.
now what they're doing is they're
Palestine
spreading
will be
that
free.
money around. Look at what's happening with the Houthis and Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and Russia ended. If I'm president-elect, I'll get it done before even becoming president.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have
course,
my
yeah,
entire
you-
career and life
You both love
supported Israel
Yeah,
and the
your
Israeli
entire career and
people.
life
He
is
knows
against
that
Israel.
he's trying
$5
to
million
again
from AIPAC.
divide
Yeah, she love you.
and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known
Houthis.
that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. It is well known that he said of Putin that he can do whatever the hell he wants and go into Ukraine. It is well known that he said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is why we understand that we have to have a president who is not consistently weak and wrong on national security, including the importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
And she's the one that caused it. That's weak on national security by allowing every nation last month for the year, 168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins. And I think he meant it, because what he's gotten away with is absolutely incredible. It wouldn't have happened with me. The leaders of other countries think that they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're grossly incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline anywhere in the world going to Germany and all over Europe? Because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by the way,
President
gets paid
Trump,
a lot of money.
Thank you. We have a lot of issues to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential debate from the National Constitution Center right here in Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
Oh my God! What a shit show!
Oh my fucking God! Wow!
I'm hyped up.
What the fuck was that?
What the?
Hold!
Do you know about someone eating?
I feel that drink out the. Yeah. What? I never even heard about that till now. Like,
nobody better eat Gizmo.
Don't eat pets, people. Yeah, don't eat Gizmo. Don't eat my God's mom dog Jack or her other dog, or Smutty, or or my neighbor's dog. Like, don't.
Please don't eat my pet.
Oh man. It's coming back on. Man. I'm telling you, that's how many more minutes we got of this shit?
Oh my God. Let's see. Eating pets. Let's see. Both are for genocide.
Yep.
Both want to defend Israel. Both want to murder more Palestinian children.
Facts.
Both candidates are right wing. Both candidates want to steal your freedoms.
Facts. Well, what else can you say?
So come on, you guys, don't vote for these two fools. It's basically one party. It's basically a Republican party. Both.
Yeah.
Both. A fascist party. That's what they are.
Total clown shit. Total clown shit.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah. 1,300 people. Holy shit.
This is the most.
Holy shit. This is amazing.
Hey,
hey everybody.
Are you
Facebook,
guys excited
Twitch.
for the clown show? Send in the clowns.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah,
man.
Both stand for genocide. Both don't give a shit about the working class. Both don't care about the homeless and the poor. Like, they don't care about us. They care about their corporate donors. That's all they care about, really.
Yeah. It's just a facade. Basically, both of them.
They're just doing a bunch of word salads and trying to trick people. I mean,
no substance at all. Just Trump doing the usual Trump does, and Kamala, well, she ain't cackling, but damn near she want to.
She did for a second, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm
But
just
it's
saying,
like January 6th, blah, blah, blah. Like, we want free healthcare. We don't give a fuck about January 6th. Get over it, Democrats. Just get over it. Everybody.
yeah, January 6th over. Like, okay.
Who gives a shit? We want free healthcare. We want a livable wage. We want to be able to fill our fridges up. You know, we want to be able to have a life with dignity. We want that. We don't give a fuck about January 6th. What is January 6th going to do for us? Like, what are these candidates are going to do for? They're not going to do anything for us.
Nothing.
If you're going to vote. If you're going to vote at least third party. If you want to vote, but honestly,
if you don't want to vote,
voting is an illusion of choice.
Yeah, if you don't want to vote, stay home.
It's like no matter who you choose, you're gonna end up in the same slaughterhouse. So.
Yeah, both of them are on the same side, people.
Pretty much, yeah. And
so please don't
wake the fuck up, people. Wake up.
1300. I need that TDJ clip. Yeah. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Yeah. Oh man. The second half, Ty Peasant, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. More shit show.
Oh my God.
It's your news playlist. Top Story with Tom Yamas, streaming weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
We're back with tonight's debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
When it ends in just a few minutes, join us for an analysis of tonight's key moments. Our team will break down how it could shake up the final sprint to Election Day. For now, though, let's go back to the debate live in Philadelphia.
Live from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here again, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back to this historic ABC News presidential debate tonight. We're going to continue here, and I want to turn to the war in Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy, that it's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be emboldened to move even further into other countries. You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the break tonight. How exactly would you do that? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being people being killed by the millions. It's the millions. It's so much worse than the numbers that you're getting, which are fake numbers. Look, we're in for 250 billion or more because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO. They paid billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars when I said, either you pay up or we're not going to protect you anymore. So that's maybe one of the reasons they don't like me as much as they like weak people. But you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They're into 100 to 150. Equalize. With that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin, hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get it. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left, unfortunately left because our country has gone to hell. But after I left, when I saw him building up soldiers, he did it after I left. I said, oh, he must be negotiating. It must be a good, strong point of negotiation. Well, it wasn't, because Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead, and it's only getting worse, and it could lead to World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's. Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
your time is up. Just to clarify in the question,
He's AI generated
do you
now.
believe it's in the U.S. best interest for Ukraine to win this war, yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
All right.
Negotiate a deal, because we have to stop all of these human lives from being destroyed.
I want to take this to Vice President Harris. I want to get your thoughts on
Palestinian lives
support
matter.
for Ukraine in this moment, but also as Commander-in-Chief, if elected, how would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Biden?
Well, first of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsilvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
Universal basic income.
Vice President Harris, thank you. We've heard from both of you on Ukraine tonight. Afghanistan came up in the last hour. I wanted her to respond to something you said earlier, and please, I'll give you a minute here.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow, much happier than he is right now.
Oh, my God.
But eventually, you know, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that. He's got nuclear weapons. Nobody ever thinks about that. And eventually, maybe he'll use them, and maybe he hasn't been that threatening. But he does have that, something we don't even like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about it. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started. She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin. And she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a horrible negotiator.
Total clown
They
shit.
sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should, as a leader upholding international rules and norms, as a leader who shows strength, understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not favor our enemies because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief, and the American people have a right to rely on a president who understands the significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We've talked about Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. I do want to talk about Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Stoltenberg said Trump did the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, I've never seen. He's the head of NATO.
There's our
He said,
money.
I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying one of the statements you made before.
Where's my
If
money?
you don't
Where's my
pay,
money?
we're not going to protect you.
President
Otherwise,
Trump.
we would have
Yeah,
never
owe me
gotten it.
$600.
He said it was one
Money.
of the most incredible jobs that he's ever seen done.
Thank you. I want to turn to Afghanistan. It came up in the first hour of the debate, and we witnessed a poignant moment today on Capitol Hill, honoring the soldiers who died in the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. I do want to ask the Vice President, do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went down. He bypassed the Afghan government. He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The negotiation involved the Taliban getting 5,000 Taliban terrorists released. And get this, and the president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David.
Who gives
A place of storied significance for us as
money.
Americans,
I
a
wanna
place
live
where we
beside mine.
honor the importance
I
of
wanna live in
American
peace,
diplomacy,
enjoy.
where we
Fuck Camp
invite and
David.
receive
You don't give a fuck.
respected
Fuck
world
Camp David.
leaders.
Yeah.
And
David.
this
Ah,
former president, as president, invited them
emergency.
to Camp
Emergency.
David because he does not again appreciate the
Who cares
role
about
and
Camp David? I want the
responsibility
money.
of the President of the United States to be Commander-in-Chief with a level of respect. And
We
this
don't
gets
give
back
a
to
fuck.
the point of how he has consistently disparaged and demeaned members of our military, fallen soldiers, and the work
Fuck
that
the
we must do to
military-industrial
uphold
complex.
the strength
Fuck
and the
the military.
respect of the United States
You
of
don't care about
America
the military
around the
either.
world.
Vice President
Yeah,
Harris,
fuck the
thank you.
military
President Trump, your
industrial
response to her
complex.
saying that you began the
Yeah,
negotiations
thank
with
you.
the Taliban.
So if you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul.
Free
And for
housing. We
18
want free
months,
housing.
we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement.
Fuck
The
Mike
reason
Pompeo.
it was good,
Fuck
it
Mike
was
Fuck that war-
we were getting
fuck
out.
war
We would have been
criminals,
out
man.
faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this.
Give the homeless a house.
They didn't do it.
Fuck the
They
military
didn't do
budget.
it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
I want to move on.
And these people did the worst withdrawal, and in my opinion,
Mute
the
his
most
mic.
embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
I muted
And by the
Rick,
way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine, because they saw how incompetent she and her boss are.
President Trump, thank you. I want to move on now to race and politics in this country. Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, "I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black." I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care.
In all the wars.
I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words. So
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was
black today, white
not
tomorrow.
black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thoughts on this?
I think it's, I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people.
You too.
You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want
Both the right wing.
this kind of approach that is
Two
just
right-wing
constantly
clowns.
trying to divide us, and especially by race. And let's remember how Donald Trump started. He was land, he owned buildings, and he was investigated because he refused to rent property to black families. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the execution of 5 young black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5.
But you incarcerate
Took out a
people.
full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual who spread birther lies about the first black president of the United States.
Both did shit.
And I think the American people want better than that. Want better than this.
Both suck.
Want someone
speak
who
for me, Kamala.
understands, as I do, I travel our country.
Bitch, you don't speak
We
for me.
see in each other a friend. We see in each other a neighbor.
You're my
We don't
enemy.
want a leader who is constantly
Both of you
trying to
fuckers
have
are my enemy.
Americans
You
point
hate
their
me.
fingers at each other.
Hate my black ass.
I
Fat
meet with
ugly ass.
people all the time who tell me, can we please just have discourse about how we're going to invest in the aspirations and the ambitions and the dreams of the American people? Knowing that regardless of people's color or the language their grandmother speaks, we all have the same dreams and aspirations and want a president who invests in those, not in hate and division.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
President Trump, this is now your 3rd time.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like
You both are.
what she
Both
just
my
said.
enemy.
Going back many, many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park fight, they admitted, they said, they pled guilty. And I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately. And if they pled guilty, then they pled, we're not guilty. But this is a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50 years ago, because there's nothing now. I built one of the greatest economies in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger. But they're destroying our economy. They have no idea what a good economy is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember this, she is Biden. You know, she's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad.
You both are
that you
Biden.
can't get away with that.
Thank you. Your time is up, Lindsay.
I want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden,
Yes,
and
you
I am
is.
certainly not Donald
Are you
Trump.
sure?
And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans. And let's compare the plans.
What plan
I have
it?
a plan
Where it?
to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction, to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. That's the kind of conversation, I believe, David, that people really want tonight, as opposed to a conversation that is constantly about belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page
Vice President
and move
Harris,
forward.
thank you. Let's turn to policy. Let's turn to policy.
Move on. President Trump.
Let's turn to policy.
To defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move on
to
to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay.
That's what her plan is until just recently.
I just need
Lindsay,
to
go ahead.
respond.
President Trump,
No, the
President
former
Trump.
president
Shut up!
said something
sorry.
twice that I need to respond.
I'm sorry, we're going to move
Shut up!
President Harris.
To what he has
President
said.
Trump, this is now your third time running for president. You have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act,
you
also
stupid
known
motherfucker.
as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that. You now say you're going to keep Obamacare, quote, unless we can do something much better. Last month, you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care.
Yeah,
Always
that's
was.
true.
It's not very good
Obamacare's-
today.
Yeah.
And what I said, that if
Obamacare
we come
sucked.
up with something,
Rummycare.
and we are working on things,
Yeah.
we're going to do it and we're going to replace it. But remember this. I inherited Obamacare because Democrats
Both
wouldn't
candidates
change it. They
are
wouldn't
going
vote
to
for it.
send your
They were
healthcare
unanimous. They
to
wouldn't
Israel.
vote to change it.
Yeah,
If
Israel
they
got
would've
free
done
healthcare,
that, we
by the
would've
way.
had a much
Yeah.
better plan
Have
than
you heard?
Obamacare. But
We
the
know.
Democrats came up. They
Yeah.
wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never going to be great, or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided, and I told my people, the top people, and they're very good people. I have a lot of good people in that administration. We read about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones, too, and so do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they don't get rid of them. But let me just explain. I had a choice to make. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. And there are concepts and options we have to do that. And you'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future.
Vice President Harris, in 2017, you supported Bernie Sanders' proposal to do away with private insurance and create a government-run healthcare system. 2 years later, you proposed a plan that included a private insurance option. What is your plan today?
Well, first of all, I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as vice president, private health care options. But what we need to do is maintain and grow the Affordable Care Act. But I'll get to that, Lindsay. I just need to respond to a previous point that the former president has made. I've made very clear my position on fracking. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away, Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, just look at the history to know where people stand. When Donald Trump was president, 60 times he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. 60 times. I was a senator at the time when I will never forget the early morning hours when it was up for a vote in the United States Senate. And the late, great John McCain, who you have disparaged as being, you don't like him, you said, at the time because he got caught. He was an American hero. The late, great John McCain, I will never forget that night, walked onto the Senate floor and said, no, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. No, you don't get rid of the Affordable Care Act. You have no plan. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. I don't have to tell people watching tonight, you remember what that was like? Remember when an insurance company could deny if a child had asthma, if someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes? And thankfully, as I've been vice president and we over the last 4 years have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, we have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did. And now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that the value I bring to this is that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. And the plan has to be to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, not get rid of it, pass this prologue in terms of where Donald Trump stands on that.
I want to move to an issue that's important for a lot of...
She made a mistake. Number one, John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years. But it wasn't only him. It were all of the Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people, private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private. She wants everybody to be on government insurance where you wait 6 months for an operation that you need immediately.
President Trump, thank you. We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the environment, you say that we have to have clean air and clean water. Vice President Harris, you call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute for you each.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax. And what we know is that it is very real. You ask anyone who lives in a state who has experienced these extreme weather occurrences, who now is either being denied home insurance or it's being jacked up. You ask anybody who has been the victim of what that means in terms of losing their home, having nowhere to go. We know that we can actually deal with this issue. The young people of America care deeply about this issue. And I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels. We have created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs while I have been vice president. We have invested in clean energy to the point that we are opening up factories around the world. Donald Trump said he was going to create manufacturing jobs. He lost manufacturing jobs. And I'm also proud to have the endorsement of the United Auto Workers and Sean Fain, who also know that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing in American-made products, American automobiles. It includes growing what we can do around American manufacturing and opening up auto plants, not closing them like happened under Donald Trump.
Vice President Harris, thank you.
That didn't happen under Donald Trump. Let me just tell you, they lost 10,000 manufacturing jobs this last month. It's going, they're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico, in many cases owned by China. They're building these massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people. What they have given to China is unbelievable. But we're not going to let that. We'll put tariffs on those cars so they can't come into our country, because they will kill the United Auto Workers and any auto worker, whether it's in Detroit or South Carolina or any other place. What they've done to business and manufacturing in this country is horrible. We have nothing because they refuse. You know, Biden doesn't go after people because supposedly China paid him millions of dollars. He's afraid to do it. Between him and his son, they get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money from all of these different countries. And then you wonder, why is he so loyal to this one, that one, Ukraine, China? Why is he? Why did he get $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife? Why did she pay him $3.5 million? This is a crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates. An historic night, this ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
The historic show.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. What do you think about that?
It was rough.
Talking about Obamacare, but Israel has our free health care. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, and when I said talking earlier, Israel has your $600. So
yeah, that too. That too. Where's my $600? Where's your $600? Where's our money? And where's Biden? Where's he hiding?
Biden, where you at, man? I guess he ate some ice cream, went to sleep. So
he probably had a little bit of vanilla ice cream and some melatonin.
I'm Joe Biden. I'm watching cackling Kamala. He's licking ice cream.
Oh gosh! What a clown show! What a fucking clown show!
Oh man, yeah.
Right, viewers. What are we witnessing? A fucking clown show.
Ty Peasant, is this the end of America as we speak?
Seems like it, and it's like she's talking about climate change and then fracking. It doesn't make sense.
First you said you're going to ban fracking, then you said you're not going to ban fracking, then you said you support Medicare for all, then you said you don't support cutting out the middleman. Now you don't support Medicare for all. See, just the flip flopping with that bitch. And you know how Trump
right?
is. Trump had random shit in his brain. $13 billion towards Biden in Moscow, the mayor of Moscow. $13 billion.
And the border thing is such propaganda. Open the fucking borders. Open it all. Open all the borders.
Open all borders. I mean, what? Yeah.
It's not even our land. We're living on stolen land right now.
Yeah, this is not my land. Yeah. Oh my God.
I feel like I'm getting a lobotomy or something. Like, what's happening to my brain? It's turning
my
into
ears. My ears hurt. I got these headphones on. Oh.
And everyone.
Take them off.
Right. Everyone, give a shout out to Kay. He's tweeting the debate, what he thinks about it live, like on his tweets as it's happening. He's tweeting about it. So make sure everyone does that.
And also, too, y'all, on the bottom of your ticker, donate to the publicist K. That's his Cash App down there. 1,600 people could give $1.
$1. Wow. It would help him out so much.
He'd be set for a while. So donate
$1.
now.
He's legit. He has the tired president approval. $1. Like if you see someone in need, $1 doesn't hurt.
Yeah. And also
it's all about.
And also 1,600 people down there on your ticker donate to my best friend, the CEO of the ATP network, Ty Peasant. $1. Yeah.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And please don't vote for those two genocidal maniacs. Both want genocide. Both will never give you free health care. They only work for their corporate donors. Both are pretty much right-wing parties. This country is a shit show. America, viewers, everybody, America is literally a sinking ship. And we're in third class. We're like in the third class under the fucking ship.
Yeah. Yes. We are doomed. We're fucked. We're fucked.
We're fucked. It's pretty bleak, but yeah, we are.
Do you know it's been over Phoenix, Arizona, been over 100 degrees for 100 days now. Like, yeah, we
That's
fucked.
insanity.
And
it's only gonna get it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, okay, back.
I wonder where those bunkers are at.
Yeah.
When it ends, please join us for analysis of tonight's key moments. Our team will break it down as we enter the final sprint to Election Day. We'll go back to the debate and closing statements.
Yeah, shit lives.
Live from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here again, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back tonight. The time has come for closing statements, and Vice President Harris, we begin with you.
So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country.
No, two same.
One that is focused on the future,
and
the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back. And I do believe that the American people know we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And we can chart a new way forward. And a vision of that includes having a plan, understanding the aspirations, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition of the American people, which is why I intend to create an opportunity economy, investing in small businesses, in new families, in what we can do around protecting seniors, what we can do that is about giving hardworking folks a break and bringing down the cost of living. I believe in what we can do together that is about sustaining America's standing in the world and ensuring that we have the respect that we so rightly deserve, including respecting our military and ensuring we have the most lethal fighting force in the world. I will be a president that will protect our fundamental rights and freedoms, including the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. I'll tell you, I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a DA, I was an attorney general, a United States senator, and now vice president. I've only had one client, the people. And I'll tell you, as a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on what we can do over the next 10 and 20 years to build back up our country by investing right now in you, the American people.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel. We're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just asked one simple question. Why
100 days in
didn't she
Phoenix,
do it?
100 degrees.
We're a failing nation.
You don't
Our
We're a
care.
literal,
nation that's in
our literal
serious
only
decline. We're
home
being
is
laughed at
Earth.
all
You
over the
fucking
world. All over
idiot.
the world, they're
Our
laughed. I
only
know the
planet
leaders
that we
very
will
well.
ever
They're
know.
coming to see
Why?
me. They
Don't
call
people
me.
care about
We're
saving
laughed
it?
at
The
all over
only
the world. They
place
don't
that we will
understand what
ever
happened to us
know.
as a nation. We're not a
Yes.
leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on
It's a
with Russia and
genocide.
Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third
Genocide.
world
Genocide.
war, and it'll
Free
be a war like no
Palestine.
other because of
Free,
nuclear
free
weapons, the
Palestine.
power of weaponry.
Free
I rebuilt our
Palestine.
entire
Free
military.
Palestine.
She
From
gave
the
a lot of
river
it
to the
away
sea.
to the Taliban.
Palestine will be
She
free.
gave it to Afghanistan.
Palestine will
What
be
these
free.
people have done to our country,
Palestine will be
and maybe
free.
toughest of all, is
Palestine
allowing
will be
millions of
free.
people to come into our
Palestine
country.
will be
Many of
free.
them are criminals, and they're
Palestine will
destroying
be
our
free.
country. The worst
Palestine
president,
will
the
be free.
worst vice president in the
Red or
history
blue, don't
of
give a
our
fuck
country.
about you.
President Trump, thank you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from
Red
here
or
in
blue,
Philadelphia at
don't
the
give a
National
fuck about
Constitution
you.
Center. I'm
Welcome
Lindsay
There's
to the
no-
Davis.
And I'm
United
David
States
Muir.
of
Thank you for watching
fascism.
here in the U.S. and all over the
Both
world, and
sides
from all of
are
us here at ABC News.
right-wing
Good night.
candidates.
Yes.
Both sides will pick genocide. That was a
Yep.
total fucking shit show. We're
That-
fucked. We're
we
fucked.
fucked.
These are our two choices.
Oh
No,
my God.
I'm not voting for neither of them. Fuck them.
Me either. Fuck them. Yeah.
They're not going
I
to
told-
do anything to benefit our lives, and they're going to continue on sending bombs to Israel, so Israel can blow up more babies.
Yeah. Yeah. It was already taken on the West Bank. You know, a encampment destroyed. Like it's a big old
But-
hole. You know.
Both candidates are Israel's bitch.
Yep. Oh man, that was rough.
1700.
That's amazing.
Hello, viewers.
Hey guys, Andre Morton. You know, if you
Tired
don't know me,
peasant.
I'm weird, awkward, don't fit
Me
in with
too.
nobody. Autistic.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, ain't no way you could come out watching that thinking that these two motherfuckers are better than one another. Like they both the same.
Both are right-wing parties. Both want to kill the planet even more. Both don't care that we're close to climate change. It's going on the deep end. Like we can't turn back. They don't care about that. They don't care about giving us money. They don't care about us having a livable wage, living a dignified life. Both want to criminalize homelessness, and homelessness is criminalized. They want to send us to slave labor camps. Both want to do that. So, you're going and voting, and you're going to end up in the same slaughterhouse. So, I mean, it's right in your face.
Yeah.
They are both the same.
Yeah, the same person.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Let me see. Finna share my screen. Okay. Give it a second. There we go.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Let's read some tweets from. Yeah. Let's read some tweets from the publicists of the ATP network. Let me see. This one. I'm gonna read this one. He says, so far nobody expressed a serious solution to the housing crisis, climate crisis, or healthcare crisis. Yep. Then he says right here, minimum wage and student debt relief appear to have completely left all political discussion. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Is it true that the Biden administration has shown no interest in peace? In fact, they told Zelensky not to take a peace deal that was on the table 2 years ago. Let me see. I don't see anyone can disagree with Trump on finding a peace deal instead of sending more conscripted Ukrainians to the meat grinder. Let me see. Oh yeah, this one right here. Not a single normal American cares about Camp David.
Exactly. Who the fuck cares about Camp David? Like we want a
Yes.
livable wage. We want free healthcare. We want stuff that'll benefit us, not fucking Camp David. I'm not rich. I'm never gonna go to Camp David.
Me either. Yeah, like, those boutique motherfuckers, who won't mind act glad did we? Okay.
Everyone, please give Kay a follow. His
Yeah.
live tweets are it's awesome.
Yeah. He's one of the, yeah, he's a great tweeter. Let's see. This one says, it's true the American people do want better than the debate. That's true.
Yeah, it's a fucking clown show.
Uh, let's see. There is a plan that's better and costs less. It's called Medicare for All.
Hell yes, Medicare for all, but both parties won't do that.
No. Oh no. You know, they got too much United Healthcare money, Aetna money,
Yeah.
Blue Cross
Remember,
Blue Shield
Israel has your free health care. Remember that.
Yeah. Another banker from K. He says, yeah, Americans fucking love their private health insurance that costs thousands and never comes through when they need it. Of course. Yep, my mama, she owes thousands of dollars now.
Yeah, I owe too. A lot of us Americans do. Like this insurance is a scam. It really is. It should be able to cover everything. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why we need Medicare for all.
Yeah.
That's not fair. It's not fair that Israel has the free, health care but we don't.
I know, it's bullshit. Yeah, and 7 years ago, my mama, she had to get a hip replacement, and she still owed $30,000. So, that's fucked up. Yeah, it is. And obviously, she on Medicare now. They ain't gonna pay for that because it's an old bill. So, healthcare should be a right, not access to healthcare.
Yeah, it's a right. Exactly.
Yeah. Trump. She wants to give you healthcare. Kamala. No, I don't.
Yeah, she doesn't.
He said this is literally just the 2020 debate. Basically.
Pretty much. It's a shit show.
We're fucked. Just with muted mics though, which wasn't muted. They still were talking. Like, well, okay.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. We're not going back. We're sticking to the failed status quo, baby. Yes, sir.
Pretty much.
And he said, final thoughts. We're cooked.
Yep. We're fucked. We are cooked. We're cooked. We're sauteed. We're done for.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, y'all go follow K. Ibarra11. Spam his Twitter, like his tweets, man. Yeah.
Give him a follow.
Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. You tweet bangers too. Welcome to the United States of Fascism.
Pretty much. We are here.
What the fuck is this? Oh my God.
We are cooked in so many ways. We are cooked.
Yeah.
That was a shit show.
Yeah. That's what I expected. But check this out though. I saw this while they was talking, they bullshit. This was from Savvy Sabs. She says Jill Stein leads Kamala Harris with Muslim voters in 3 other battleground states.
I heard about
leads
that.
Outright.
That's cool.
Yeah, in Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Yeah, that's
fucking awesome.
But these fucking quote unquote boutique left online on in independent media tell you that Jill Stein has 1% of the vote. Okay, just Democrats that want health care. Yeah.
Fuck them both.
What do you think about this one right here?
Yeah, fuck them both. 2024. Yes. Hell, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Savage Joy. Hopefully she come on our show. I have the endorsement of over 200 Republicans, including those who have worked with George W. Bush. Kamala, thinking that's a brag. Oh my God. Yeah.
Both candidates are right-wing candidates.
This says it all right here. I like this person. I don't follow. I hate these people so much. Yes, I hate them both. Let me see. Yep, Zionist puppets. Yep.
Pretty much both.
Yep.
I'm tired of the puppets. I really am.
Yeah.
They're eating dogs. What about that?
What the hell is this? Hey, eating dogs execute the baby.
Oh my gosh, not the execution of babies and the devouring of dogs. What the hell?
Oh no, we're fucked. Oh.
I better hide your gizmos, hide your gizmos, hide your dogs, hide your cats.
Hey godmom, you watching hide Jack? You know, they coming at the Jack.
Gizmo, you
Jack
have to hide.
Hide Gizmo.
Oh, you gotta hide. Oh, Smurf, you gotta hide your dog.
Smurf. Hey Smurf, you watching this? Hide your dog, man. Hide your dogs, people. What the fuck is this shit? Protect our ducks and kids in Ohio.
Fuck Elon Musk.
Fuck you, Elon. Man, Elon, you ain't suppressing me. Oh my God, he's not suppressing me no more. Oh, thank you, Elon. Oh Lord. You gonna suppress me tomorrow? I'm
yeah,
coming.
me too. Me too.
I'm going ham on. Yeah, fuck AOC.
Fuck AOC, that fake ass bitch. The dog is hiding under the bed. My cat is somewhere under the bed, hiding because supposedly people want to eat my cat.
Yeah. Oh man. This is funny. Are you a chemist? No, just an alcoholic.
An alcoholic.
Claudia
Give a shout out
is
to
based.
Provolone.
Yeah. I go follow Provolone. Poozy Glorist. Give her a follow.
Base tweets tonight.
Yeah. Let me see. What this it said. Not all Trump supporters are racist, but they all decided that racism wasn't a deal breaker. Not all Kamala supporters are pro-genocide, but they all decided that genocide wasn't a deal breaker.
Both parties suck.
Yeah, both parties suck. Yeah. Let me see. Oh Lord, woke pro-genocide, woke fascists versus pro-genocide overt fascists. That's true. True. Let me see. This guy, he says, don't watch the debate, but I'm gleaning from Twitter right now. Republicans think Trump won. Democrats think Harris won. Rational people realize we're all fucked regardless. True.
That is very true. We are all fucked. That's why I said, find your community, hold on to it. You need to learn some survival skills. We all do. Yeah.
I need to try to get that guy back on. I forgot his name. Maybe I could do a stream or something with him.
Yeah.
Israel is the only country in the world with a 3,000-year history that began in 1948. Yeah. Fuck Israel.
Fuck Israel.
Julian Assange. I'm glad he's free. Let me see. Oh man. Lebanon under attack. Yeah. Don't forget about the Congo too, y'all. Sudan.
Yeah, don't forget about the Congo.
Fiorella says this debate makes it 100% clear that both candidates are pro-Israel, pro-genocide, anti-China, anti-Russia, anti-Iran, and anti-helping the U.S. public. Their attitude towards leaders is belligerent and arrogant. But Harris is praising NATO and pushing for more war in Ukraine is insane. Facts.
1,803 people.
Man, hey, Ty Pez, you know something when the New York Post is reporting that Jill Stein lead Muslims in battleground state. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Zaneb says Kamala Harris again, the most lethal fighting force in the world. Lethal, not moral, but for protection, but lethal. She means what she says. She's a war hawk. Of course.
Both want wars. Yep.
And what
they're going to
makes me
give
real
it to
angry
us.
is that some of these people, yes. What makes me angry is that all these people that claim to be pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, free Palestine, then when Kamala started running, then all of a sudden they start supporting her like she's Israel's bitch.
Pretty much, yeah. Both of them are.
Yeah, Geo, right? Yeah, I like comedy. I'll be watching tonight. Yeah, yeah, that's why I watched
it. Was me too.
Yeah,
for the comedy shit show.
That was the clowns of comedy, not the kings of comedy. Clowns of comedy. Yeah, y'all. Tomorrow is September the 11th.
9/11 was an inside job, and I'll be talking about that tomorrow on Chill Time.
Yeah, y'all. Be sure to check out Chill Time with Ty Peasant.
I'm gonna be asking a question that I always ask every single year. Where were you on 9/11? And I'll share my story, and we'll talk about it. And yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
With leftists like this, see, these are motherfuckers that make independent media toxic. These motherfuckers right here. Why you should freak out about?
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, go ahead. Oh man. So yeah, y'all, man. People like this, Mike Figueredo. I can't. Man, I can't believe I used to watch this dude years ago. Oh man. See, these are Democrats. Like Sabby Sabs always say. Shout out to her. I love Sabby. These are Democrats who want health care. That's all. Him and Cal Kalinske and Crystal Ball and Sam Cedar and Cenk Uygur too. Yeah. Let me see. Conrad Izzy says she want to do trans operations on illegals that are in prison. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow. On this day, this from Hotspot. Flashback on this day, September 10, 2001. Donald Rumsfeld reveals that the Pentagon couldn't account for the missing 2.3 trillion. The following day, the news mysteriously faded from everyone's memory. Interesting. Oh lordy. Kuk Kalinske. Kamala defended a withdrawal from Afghanistan. Fucking thank you. Stop running away from the best thing Democrats did. Let all the fake anti-war grifters attack you with your strength. Fuck you, Kyle Kuk Kalinske. Fucking independent media fucks. Let me see.
Such a shit show. Oh my god.
This guy right here, he says, this a meme. Russia election interference. Chinese election interference. Israeli election interference. Yeah, chilling, drinking a Coke or whatever. Medea Benjamin at the debate. Kamala was good on several domestic issues, but terrible on Israel and Ukraine. Trump was terrible on almost everything except wanting to see negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. Yeah, Kamala was bad on everything. I disagree on both. On several domestic now. She was bad on everything. Claudia Dela Cruz. All I see is two factions of the ruling class pointing fingers at each other for all the things they have failed to do, while ensuring the ruling class they will make sure to save capitalism and end U.S. imperialism.
Yep.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Man, you guys showed up tonight, man. I feel so happy right now, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for
Eight,
supporting us.
yeah, 1837, man. That's wow.
A lot.
Let me see.
1840.
Yeah. Dang. I just checked. It was 1837. Wow.
You guys are awesome. So
let me
yeah,
see.
you know, shit's gonna hit the fan. We're cooked. You know, find your community and stick to it. Find your community, stick to it.
Yeah.
No secret. Start learning how
Yeah.
to use maps and
You know,
compasses
I
and
verbally.
survival tactics because shit's gonna get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, especially maps, guys. Like, buy you one of those maps off Amazon. You got of
Yeah.
your state.
Put my map.
You know, got all the roads and back roads. And yeah, yeah, shit's gonna hit the fan. Believe it or not,
Yep.
y'all.
Find your community.
Wow, we got somebody from Rumble. He said dog is hiding under the bed. And he said
My cat's hiding under the bed.
he said, "What are your keywords for the drinking game?" It said China, I think.
It was billions. It was yeah, when he said billions.
Billions, yeah. China. Oh yeah. Now you said except China. What else? What else? Something else too. I forgot. My brain short circuiting. That autism kicking in now. Oh man. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh yeah.
That
Oh,
was
sure.
such a shit show. Find your community, stick to it. Just help your comrades out with mutual aid or anything within the Twitter community and outside. We got to stop this infighting. We all have a common enemy. As you can see from the debate, both of the candidates don't have your interest in hand. Like they don't care about us.
Right.
You know, their allegiance is to Israel. Their allegiance is to sending bombs to Israel to murder more children. And
Yes.
if you vote for Kamala, there will be blood on your hands. If you vote for Trump, there will be blood on your hands. So you don't want blood on your hands, right?
No, I don't.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And also too, y'all, boycott Israel. I mean products, please. No Starbucks, no Domino's, no Pizza Hut, no McDonald's. Please. It's working. Like they're losing
Boycotts
money.
work. They really do. They really do.
Yeah, Lay's potato chips, Pepsi, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Grow a community garden in a way, just find your community. I verbally.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Oh, everyone has a place in the revolution. You may not be a fighter. I might not be a fighter, but everyone has a place in the revolution.
Right.
Every single one of us, no matter what you do, can contribute to a better tomorrow.
True. Yeah. And also too, y'all, I know y'all tired of me talking about this left Twitter, but please, can we just stop the infighting? I seen some more today. Got on the timeline. First thing I saw, infighting. Come on, y'all. Just talk it out privately, please. Like, nobody needs to hear your drama. Please. Let's come together. It's so frustrating. Like, you feel like you're making progress, and you see that, and you're like, oh man. Then it's big figures too. It's not like me or nobody like that. People with thousands of followers. Yeah.
Remember, we have one common enemy. It's the rich.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I hate when people said, mutual aid is some donate money via mutual aid is a scam. Like, don't you go to church and donate money?
Yeah, like a donation.
Pastor
like a donation bowl or whatever. Like, some people throw dollars in. Like, coming to an ATP network near you, we're going to be doing like a telethon. That's why I talk so much about mutual aid. Literally, we can help so many people that come on the timeline and ask for help. Like if everyone just threw in $1, it adds up. That makes a difference, and it's just $1, and that's what mutual aid is all about. Like throwing, whatever cash you have to spare, and it adds up if if more people do it.
Yeah, imagine if 1,800 people all came together and decided,
Help
let's
somebody.
give money to Ty Peasant or Kay or Provolone or Damien,
Or Trina,
like
yeah.
yeah, Trina. I'm gonna pull up her GoFundMe in a second, but
But like,
yeah,
imagine that, and then bam, you helped one person, and bam, okay, we'll do the next one. Everyone puts $1, like, and keep this like domino effect of helping people.
yeah,
It's so easy. It's just $1.
$1. That's all it is.
And
Just one.
imagine that. We can change so many people's lives because you know what? All we have is each other, and our government, they're not going to help us. We are a sinking ship, and all we have is each other.
And you know what? One thing I regret. One thing I regret too, is that I gave my money to Bernie Sanders and AOC when I should have gave it to mutual aid. That's
Oh,
what I
me
regret.
too. I remember I used my last 20 or something and I gave it to Bernie Sanders. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Never again. Like, if you're
Never
going to
again.
donate money, donate to your comrades in need. The politicians, they already have money. They're rich. Like, they don't need our money. They need to give us money.
Right. Right. Yeah,
They
they
need to give us
owe us
money, not the other way around.
$600. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Where's my
We will
$600,
never get it,
Biden?
but and these motherfuckers had the audacity to say, well, technically, we gave you 600, before the election, so technically with the 1,400 is 2,000. No, fuck that. That old
No.
fucker, went to Georgia,
Wherever
said
he's
$2,000.
hiding.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
my
where's
$600,
Joe Biden?
Biden? Where's Joe Biden at?
Damn.
I haven't heard from him in a while. Where is he? Where is Joe Biden?
Damn. Man, Joe Biden was missing. I'm gonna have to put
Oh,
an
once it's fine.
APB back out on his ass.
Where is Joe Biden?
Help on it. Oh. Joe Biden, where are you? We need you, man. No, I just play. We don't need you. Fuck you. Okay, y'all. Please, 1,871 people. If you donate $1 to this woman, Trina Pants, right now, she'll reach her goal. That's all she needs.
She's
$1 from.
She's going through a domestic issue, and
Yeah.
literally, you guys, if everybody donated $1, you guys are viewing, Trina would get closer to her goal, and she can have a safe space for her children. She's a single
Yes.
mother, and she got out of a domestic abuse situation, and we're here to help our comrades. So literally, if everybody here watching or seeing our timeline, if you donate just $1 to Trina, you can help
$1.
someone. You can help someone escape violence.
Yeah.
And she needs our help. She's been stuck at the 155 mark for weeks.
For weeks, yeah. Donations stop. I hate that, and that's why we are gonna host a mutual aid telethon in the coming weeks. Hopefully she can almost reach her goal tonight, but by the telethon.
So like, if anyone just come on, just $1, like church donations, like throw in $1. If everybody did that, by the end of the night, Trina would be good. And then bam, we'll find someone else, and bam, we'll find someone else. Like, so we could help so many people with just $1. Like, people don't know how strong we are. People don't understand, as a whole, the working class, Like all of us, the poor working class, like we can get a lot of shit done in numbers. Like I alone won't be able to do it by myself. Andre wouldn't be able to do it by himself. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everything is achievable in numbers. Mutual aid down to revolution. Like everything is achievable in numbers. Like right now, like we could literally be helping Trina right now if someone puts $1. And putting a small amount isn't embarrassing because you know what? Someone else may put a small amount and that adds up into a big amount. And then she, her goal would be met and she'd be okay. And then, we'll help the next person. So instead of donating money to politicians that don't benefit our lives, what about a comrade that's in need right now? It says survival funds to escape unsafe home environment. Like all you gotta do is donate $1.
$1. That's all you need. $1.
And she has the tired peasant approval, so she's legit.
Yeah, when you have that tired peasant seal of approval, you're the real deal. Yeah.
Come on, you guys, just $1.
Just $1. Like, come on now.
We always get text message from politicians telling us to give us their money, but they don't need our money. They're rich. Let's help comrades in need with very small amounts. If all of us puts together very small amounts, then Trina would get help. Come on, we gotta help Trina out.
Yeah, make Trina life better. We all we got, we all we need. Strength in numbers.
Yeah, strength in numbers. Our government will not save us. Our government will not get us out of this. They got us into this. So literally all we have is each other. That's why they want to ban TikTok for good. That's why they want to, suppress us on Twitter and all social media platforms. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us to talk, especially TikTok. They don't want us to know knowledge of the truth. They don't want us to organize. So like what I'm trying to say is that it's strength in numbers can achieve anything. Like for example, mutual aid.
Yep.
Like if everyone gave a small amount right now to the GoFundMe for Trina, her goal would be met. Like who's gonna throw the first $1?
Anybody gonna throw $1?
She's like stuck at 155.
She's been stuck there for 10 days now. So yeah. Like we're here in the ATP network. We're a voice for the voiceless. We're here to give comrades a voice, but we're also here to help comrades meet their goals for mutual aid, help comrades in need. So I always try to advocate, any amount helps. If you send $1, if we send $1, if everybody sends $1, Trina would get the help. Yep, everybody send $1. That's all it takes. $1.
We're not telling you to send $10, $20, $5, not even $2. It's just one simple dollar. One simple dollar makes a difference.
Yeah.
One simple dollar could literally change someone's life today.
Again, if you're on Twitter, the link to Trina's GoFundMe is on the top pin tweet. And if you're on YouTube and Rumble, it's in the description. It's easy to get to. So ain't no excuse. Log out if you have to. Donate the $1 and come back. Well, for a few seconds.
So if everyone, threw $1 for the GoFundMe for Trina, it says survival funds to escape unsafe home environment. And her goal would be met.
Yep.
And all it takes is $1. We're not telling you to give $2, $3, $4, $5, etc. Just one simple dollar. Simple dollar would do.
Yep, just $1.
$1. So easy. We give money to politicians. Well, not me, but I did with Bernie.
Not me.
But one simple dollar is nothing, but dollars combined is something.
Yes.
So coming to the ATP soon we're gonna have a mutual aid telethon. We got to set it up. It's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be good. So looking forward to
Yes.
that. 1906.
Yep. Provolone gonna be like the head of that because that's her
Mhm.
wheelhouse.
That's your thing.
She
Yeah.
has a GoFund. I mean, she has a mutual aid thing on
On
Facebook. So,
Facebook.
and
Yeah.
and also too, Provolone helped a lot of people, y'all. So, you know, so so there's a lot of good people out there, man. And also too, I'm gonna say this, we ain't got to agree.
Mhm.
Nobody's perfect, but again, like with the infighting, come together, put our differences aside, then we'll make a big difference. So,
Exactly. Strength in numbers. Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
Can't wait for that.
tomorrow,
Cannot wait. I
to,
can't wait.
to tomorrow, y'all, be excited. The new show coming to the ATP network called The Original Coming Corner. It's gonna be epic. 2 hours of pure like base facts. Damien and his friends.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Damien's my cousin. He's my blood cousin.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. He's a part of
Shout
the
out to
ATP network.
shout out to Damien, man. I'm so
I'm
glad he joined our network.
Yes, it was a great choice. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for a little bit of chill time because tomorrow's 9/11. I love to talk about that shit. And I'm so excited for the ATP After Dark tomorrow night. It's gonna get wild.
Oh Lord. I might check in. I don't know, but I might sneak in, see what the hell going on. Remember
Okay.
Ballgate? Ball.
No,
Oh Lordy.
we
That was
won't do
crazy.
that anymore. We'll talk about it, but we won't post that.
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah. No, it's my fault. I want to clarify. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at nobody. It's my fault. I should have known.
You're
you
okay.
can't do that. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. But that launched ATP After Dark. So,
Yeah.
be sure to watch that. It's with me. It's with Amit, myself, Provolone, and Kyber. We are a good like three duo. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And I hope
Yeah.
they'll be able to attend tomorrow
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyber really. He I never seen that side of Kyber before. I'm used to a
Yeah,
cool,
he's
chill.
awesome, Dad. He looks like
Yeah.
Santa Claus. I love it. Love it. I love it. Our very
Well,
own Santa.
Yeah. And also too, y'all, ATP Network is on Twitch, twitch.tv. So,
Make sure to
on
follow.
yeah. Yeah, so any last thoughts, Ty Peasant?
I'm thankful for the amount of people that are watching right now. You see?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You guys
I
are
can't
awesome. I so fully support independent media. Also,
yeah.
when I say, in closing, when I also say find a community, also find independent media. Make your own independent media. Make your own. All of us here are like mini news reporters. You don't have to join a network. If you want to, that's great.
Yeah.
You can just be solo, whatever you can, start your little independent media. You don't have to be like, you got to be informed on the issues. It's understandable, but like, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just spread your truth. Just spread your truth. We can't trust CNN and MSNBC and Fox News. Like, we are the news. We are the news of the people. We're the news of the people for the
Yes.
people. So
Yeah.
we need more of us out there. So that's why independent media is so important. Because
Yes.
we gotta speak the truth, and we're running out of time. So that's what I want you guys to do. Research on that. Start your own network or do your own little independent news. Like, the
Yeah.
ATP network, we'll retweet you. We'll talk about you.
Yeah,
We're a
promote
voice
you.
for the voiceless. So yeah, and also, if you want to be a guest on Tea Time, just hit me up on my DMs and we'll schedule
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah. DM Tired Peasant. Yeah. Her handle's a horror girl. Well, it ain't on there. But yeah, horror girl. So you spell it out. And
yeah,
also too, y'all, it's a scammer out there pretending to be her.
yeah, there really
She
is.
don't have a PayPal.
I just have
And
Cash App. That's it. That's just Cash App.
yeah, if y'all see that scam, and she has a blue check.
Yeah, and I would never go in your DMs asking for money, so that's definitely a red flag. And I don't have a PayPal.
Yeah.
I just have a Cash App, and I usually put my um my mutual aid on my pin tweet or
Yeah.
like on the timeline. If anybody ever throws a bone at me. Um, but yeah, I would never go in your DMs asking for money. That's just not how I do. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and also too, some of y'all ask when I give the Palestinian mutual aid requests. Those are verified and vetted. So Gaza Funds and Augusta Love, she do Operation Olive Branch. So those are not
Nice.
scams. So you can retweet them. That's okay. I don't answer to people that ask for mutual aid anymore because I want to be transparent with you guys because I don't know who's so I always make sure everything's vetted. And if I know you, you can tell me you won't need some help. I try to promote you. So
Exactly. We're here to retweet and help people in any way we can. Like I said, a dollar makes a difference. Just think about that, everybody. A dollar makes a difference.
$1. That's all you need.
Just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Okay, Ty Peasant. This was a masterpiece tonight.
Yes, it was a successful debate, friend. I loved it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a shit show, but
Yeah.
we're doing good.
Yeah, our energy is like our energy is top notch.
We're a good
right now.
debate duo. Like, I'm ready for the next one. Is there a next one? Or no, that's it.
I think it probably won October, but I don't know.
Oh, the vice presidents, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We
God,
We should schedule.
JD
Yeah,
Yeah.
schedule that too.
Yeah. It'll be nice if we could do it's nice if we could do a round table with that one though. But I don't know.
Yes, because it's just the vice presidents. Yeah, we should plan that.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Provolone, Kaiba, Marty. Yeah.
Yes, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Look at these wonderful viewers watching us right now.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your support. Almost 2K viewings. Almost.
That's crazy for a small channel like ours, a small network like ours. Like that's insane.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, you guys. Like we're feeling the love, and we
Yeah.
are we are a voice for the voiceless.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
guys.
like, yeah.
Yeah, you guys make me feel love, man. So sometimes I don't, I just feel like will I ever have happiness? But I have happiness right now. So.
And it's awesome. And free Palestine, and Palestine will always be free. We will not stop. We will not stop talking about Palestine.
Yeah.
Palestine is all of us.
Yeah, we're all a Palestine.
And if you don't think it's going to come close, if you don't think it's going to come to home, then you're stupid, because just look around you, the cop cities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, tomorrow's 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
It was an inside job.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that with a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, what time you gonna do chill time so I know when to be ready?
Okay, so I'm thinking when I drop my kids off to school. So I'm thinking of doing it 9 o'clock, actually, 9 a.m. Yeah, that's
Okay.
when I'm gonna do it. 9 a.m.
Okay, I'm gonna stream it to YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. Okay.
Sweet, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny.
Oh man. Tomorrow on
If you
Twitter,
want to step, and you're more than likely to step in if you want to.
Okay. I'll come in. I got something to say to a particular person that's in my DMs
Cool.
talking shit. So
Oh
yeah,
shit!
man, I'm telling you, some of these people on Twitter are unserious motherfuckers. Like, mad at me for
I'm serious. Oh my God, I can't wait till you spill the tea. Like, yeah, you can come on my show and talk,
Yeah.
say what you got to talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Provolone, if you still watching, I know, you got a lot to say, so I want you to come on to Real Recognize Real podcast. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
If
Oh my
you,
God.
you
Yes. Yes. Oh, also
yeah,
DM Provolone about that so she could know.
yeah, yeah.
And put it in the ATP network and DM her so she can know. That's cool. Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Look at these wonderful people. Look.
Hey, y'all keep coming in. Like, wow. I'm so loved. Oh
Free
no. Man.
Palestine. Oh my God. Do you want to stop
Man.
until we get to, do you want to stop until we get to 2K?
Yeah, let's get to 2K. Yeah. Shit. Well, I just want to play some random video.
Okay.
Lordy.
Free
Yeah.
Palestine.
Let's start with the best person on earth. Let's start with her first, then. Yeah. Oh my.
Another glorious morning.
Oh, who's that?
Aren't you guys tired of
Who is that
living
person?
through
Whoa!
historical
That's
events?
Peasant.
Like, seriously. Why do we have to fucking work?
Tired peasant.
Let's see, 9/11, ongoing
Peasant
war,
strong.
an ongoing genocide,
He's right.
and a missed
He's
attempt.
right.
That's true.
Like, millennials, I have a question for you. Aren't you tired of living through historical events?
Oh, I'm really tired. I'm fucking
Can we
tired.
just
That's
start
why
paying
tired.
our bills?
Aren't you tired, Peasant? Look at you. With your little blue suit.
Tired peasant. Hey, everybody learn from this
Workers of the
person
world
right here.
unite.
Yeah, workers of the world unite. Man, you got me. Hey, you got me start doing it. Hey.
Yes.
Oh man.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Workers of the world unite. Yeah, yeah, I am tired. Tired peasants, right? I am tired of living through historical events. Aren't you, Andre?
Yes. Oh man.
I'm so tired.
One after another, after another, after another, after another.
It's like I can't. It's like I can't keep up. We can't keep up.
Can't keep up. Like people already forgot there was a school shooting last week. Like it's crazy.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. For real. This is for real. We'll talk about this too a little bit on Chill Time. I got a message from my kid's school saying that somebody did a threat, but they said like the threat was incredible. Not credible. Like I guess they found it to be just like a prank or whatever. But damn, that's scary. Like, so my kids went into like a mini lockdown. I fucking hate America. America is a shit show. Like we're sending children to the war zone pretty much.
Hey, I heard the town next to Monroe they heard it was a threat too, a bomb threat.
Yeah.
They had to leave. Cool.
I don't know what's happening today, but like I was on TikTok and a couple of other states were having the same problem.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. When I was in school, we had like one bomb threat. That's about it.
Oh, me too. Someone called the school, and so basically, this was high school. This was like a week or two after 9/11, and someone did a bomb threat, and we ended up. I think it was a sophomore. I'm not sure, but I was just a kid. But anyway, like I remember being in the field when it was pouring rain and they wouldn't let us back in the school. Like kids just jumped the fence to go home. Like I should have just went with them.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. Me and my football players, like we usually sneak out through the back.
Hell yeah.
way.
I was in a trunk before to get out campus.
Hell, oh man, I remember when I was in school, me and a couple other guys, we got into one of one of their trucks. We went and got something to eat. We went to like Wendy's or some shit. Like we skipped
Oh,
lunch
nice.
at school. Man, they said, Andre, you want to go? I like, oh
Oh
man.
yeah.
I like, hell yeah, Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, when we was in school, all we had was earthquake drills, fire drills, tornado drills. Now, kids got
That's like, yeah, for me,
them.
my first memory of a school shooting would be Columbine. I was in middle school, I think. So, like, I saw it on TV. That was like my first experience of a school shooting. And then years and years and years later, thousands of school shootings later, and it's wild that now my kids are knowing about school shootings. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I
This
know.
country's out of control, and Trump or Kamala, they don't care about us.
Yeah.
They don't care about the issues.
Yeah.
Shit's gonna get worse. Protect your children, protect your family,
Yeah.
find your community, and stick to it. Find common ground with your comrades because we need as much numbers as possible. We need strength in numbers. Every single one of you guys have a place in the revolution. Every single one of you. And every single one of us can help comrades with just $1. We really can.
Yeah.
We can help so
$1
many people.
goes
So
far.
many.
Mhm.
And it's simple. It's just $1. Politicians are always in our text messages telling us to send them $10, $20, $5.
Yeah.
We're just asking you to send $1 to Trina or any other comrade in need. Just one simple dollar.
Just $1. That's all we
That's
ask.
it.
And on Twitter, all I ask y'all to do, I know some of y'all retweet. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
And I'm sorry, like if you're a leftist, and you don't retweet people's mutual aid, then I don't think you're a leftist. You don't have to donate money, but it doesn't hurt to retweet. So
don't hurt at all.
That's like the easiest thing you can do. Literally, you don't even have to think. That's the easiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Retweet someone's mutual aid. We're not telling everybody to donate because it's hard for everybody, but you can retweet. And if you have a simple dollar, I mean, that goes a long way if everybody did that. So find your community because as you can see in this debate, Harris or Trump, they're not going to save us. Voting will not get us out of this. It won't.
Yep. Voting will not save you.
Voting will not save you. We are literally on a trajectory to hell. We are on a sinking ship.
Yeah, Titanic.
We are on the Titanic, and we're third class. We're on the very bottom, and all the rich people got their bunkers and like all their life preservers, all their boats and shit, and we're sinking, and we're taking it. And like I said, everybody has a place in the revolution. Find your community. That's really important. Find your family, but don't depend on a politician to save you. The U.S. government doesn't care about us. All they care about is colonizing. All they care about is endless war, genocide. They want to obliterate the Palestinians.
Yes.
And the United States government is pretty much the United States of Israel.
True.
Israel has our free healthcare right now while so many people are struggling. When I had my kid, I still owe $3,000 for having a baby. But Israel can have free healthcare, and and our government is sending the bombs to murder beautiful, innocent Palestinian babies. Come on now.
And also, too, how can you not have compassion? Like, what happened? What if that was your child? That was your niece or nephew?
like Comrade Macklemore said, what if you were in Gaza? What if those were your kids?
Yes.
What if you
So
were in Gaza? What if those were your kids?
yes, and that's why I always try to get a Zionists to understand, but they just always say it's the usual Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. So yeah, yeah,
Hamas wanted a ceasefire. It's
yeah.
the Israel.
Hamas 3 times.
So who's the real enemy? It's
Yeah,
definitely Netanyahu.
yeah. Hamas didn't kill those hostages.
Netanyahu
Net,
did.
yeah, yeah,
Netanyahu did.
yeah.
So
And
a vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Netanyahu. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for Netanyahu.
yeah, and also when the Israelis want a ceasefire because of the hostages, it's not because of Palestinians, because of hostages. You just what I'm saying. Um, so so 10 more away. Ty Peasant from 2000.
Crazy. So yeah, like I said, find your community. Make independent media. Watch more independent media. You can watch us, but you can watch RBN. We look up to them. Any other independent media, just turn off the Fox News, please. Turn off the CNN. Turn off the MSNBC. Oh
News
my
Nation.
God, just turn it off. I'm gonna be talking about CNN tomorrow because it kind of goes with the whole 9/11 thing. But make sure to catch that on Showtime tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, make independent media, start a network, or just do it by yourself. If you guys
Yeah.
need help with it, like if you guys don't understand how to start a live stream or how to start something like what we're doing, hit up Andre and his DMs, hit up me, mostly Andre because he knows more about the technology part. So yeah, don't be afraid to message the founder of the ATV network, and he could talk through it with you. And we really, really advocate for independent media. We really, really do. We want to see more comrades out there. We need to see more people on the streets. But if you can't, there's a place everywhere. So like what we're doing too, like independent media. Find the outrage that's happening in your community and exploit it. And we all have to be our own news reporters because we cannot depend on the state-run media that is the United States of America.
Yes.
So the U.S. is a state-run propaganda media. They just want to brainwash as much people, and they just want us to give the money to the rich so they can control all of us. Both parties are Zionists. Both parties are a right-wing party. Both parties do not care about the working class, the poor. They don't care.
That's so true. So true.
They really don't fucking care. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They're not going to care about us.
Exactly.
They just want to be in power. They just want to be in power. There's no democracy here. It's a police state. Just all these cop cities that are being built. Homelessness has been criminalized. Wages are staying the same.
$7.25 minimum wage.
Rent prices are going up. It's in its infancy to basically incarcerate everybody so we can in slave labor camps. So, oh my God, Project 2025. No, both parties want that. Both parties want you to work for free labor. Both parties. Both parties are a right-wing party. Both parties are right-wing. There is no left wing between Trump and Harris. Both want to take your freedoms away. Both don't want you to have free health care. Both don't care about reproductive rights. Both don't care about your overall well-being. They only care about APAC. They only care about the donor class. They only care about upholding the status quo. That's what they care about. They don't care about little me or little you. But in numbers, we should really start caring more about each other. We really should. Because in numbers, as you can see right now, in numbers,
numbers.
everything is achievable. Everything is achievable in numbers.
Yes. Ty Peasant, I'm gonna say this. You chosen to do this space. You chosen to do this.
Thank you so much, because it wasn't really planned. It
Yeah.
was like a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah. It's fine. Hey, that's why I told you from the get go. I said this is your network. You control it.
No,
You
you're too
you
kind.
you
It's
you,
yours
you,
too.
you drive
It's
the ship.
ours. It's
Yeah.
it's all our network.
I'm the tech guy. The tech. Oh yeah, Damien too. He's great too. Like
Provolone, Kyber,
yeah,
Travis.
yeah,
We
Travis.
we
Yeah,
we are a
Provolone
voice.
especially.
Yes, brings the energy.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah,
we are we are a voice for the voiceless.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
if you guys want to like and subscribe to our
Oh yeah.
network on
Like the video.
like the video, like and subscribe on YouTube. A shout out to JB for inviting us into his show.
Show.
Like, thank you so much for that. I look up to RBN.
Me too.
Um, yeah, so thank you so much, you guys. Look at that. Like, I was so happy. Like, this debate was like a spur in the moment,
Yeah,
and it was fun.
yeah, yeah. I ain't. To be honest, I ain't know who to do it with. I'm gonna ask people, but when you said you want to do it, I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
And people, thank you guys for still sticking around
yeah,
after the debate. Like, look at that.
yeah. I know some of y'all probably gotta go work in the morning. I don't,
Yeah,
but
I don't.
oh shit. So yeah, y'all. Like JB said, smoke them if you got them, drink if you got them. Leave the world better than you found it.
Heck yeah. Find your community, you guys. And,
Yes,
strength in numbers, as you can see.
yes,
We're a little network, but, being voice for the voiceless will grow because you guys.
yeah. You guys motivate me to do what I do. I'm just gonna let you know.
Saying you guys motivate me to speak truth and to document my raw, authentic life. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. Same here. Thank y'all for if some of you retweet my mutual aid videos and I know I'm a pain in the ass. I'm repetitive, but thank you for not judging me.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, y'all. This was elite. This was a great show.
It
Tonight
was an
show with
amazing
Andre.
show.
Again, Ty Peasant, I want to say thank you for coming on. You made it great.
No, you did too, friend. You did too. Like, thank you for inviting me. And like by chance, the blue check came back. So
Thank
yeah, I
God.
was like so excited. I'm like, oh my God, it's on a Tuesday. I'm off tomorrow. So thank you so much to invite me on your show to do this debate together.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting me on the chill time. And
Oh
I got
yeah.
some things to
And
say.
yeah, hell yeah. It's tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So definitely you guys join and yeah, come on down to the chill time and speak your piece. I want to hear
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
on the glorious 9/11 day.
Oh, Lord, 9/11. Man, that's an inside
9/11
job. An
was an inside
inside job.
job, an inside job.
Yeah. Also, before we go, are you gonna ask? Oh yeah, you said it. You gonna ask people where they were on 9/11? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So think about this, you guys. So for my tomorrow's show, I'm gonna ask everybody where, the question that I always ask every year, where were you on 9/11? So I want you viewers to think about that. Where were you on 9/11? So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna tell my story and I want to hear everyone else's story. So and then Andre
Yeah.
has something to say. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't hold my peace no more. I
spill
tried.
it. Can't wait to hear it tomorrow. Or you can say
Okay.
it now if you want to.
Nah. all I'm gonna say is donate to Trina. Hit Provolone Cash App too.
$1. Yeah.
Tired Peasant. She needs our help more than ever now. Hit that up. $1.
$1.
Damien. The original Cummy Corner. Hit him up. Cash App. The publicist Travis. Hit up his Cash App. And follow the ATP Network on Twitter.
Yes.
I know I haven't posted shit on there yet, but I will
Follow
soon.
us.
And
Free Palestine. Always.
Free Palestine. And also subscribe to my podcast, Real Wrestling Not Real, on all platforms.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Ty Peasant. See you tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Me too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be so fun. Chill time tomorrow, you guys.
All right, guys.
It was awesome.
Have a good day.
Have a good night. Bye, you guys. Thank